Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Demetrius Johnson, and you're listening to MMALatestNews.com.
It's time to roll, baby.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to MMA Latest. I'm pleased to have Mr. Ross Houston with me. Very shortly after getting the announcement for your fight on your Bellator debut. It doesn't really get bigger than that event. So, how are you feeling right now?
I feel amazing. Yeah, buzzing to get the big fight. It's the one we wanted. So, there's no better way that it could have gone, man. So I'm going to take this opportunity with both hands, dust MVP, and then move my way onto that title.
Yeah, so obviously you were going through Cage Warriors. You were the champion. Your last fight was a no contest. Was this move something that was in the making to Bellator, or is it something that came up maybe recently?
We had a few offers on the table, and from what we were offered, Bellator was by far the best one. And I feel like that I want to be fighting the best people possible for me to prove that I'm up there on the world stage, not just only like the European level. And I think the Bellator welterweight roster is absolutely stacked. So I look forward to tearing my way through them guys.
Why right now? Do you feel like you've done it? You've proved yourself on Cage Warriors, and this was the perfect time to make the switch?
Yeah, I felt like, obviously I got the Cage Warriors belt. I'm undefeated, and I feel like I'm the number one welterweight in Europe right now. So I just feel like the names that are in the Bellator welterweight division, obviously Lima the champion. I just feel like that's a perfect move for me to, like I just said, to show that I'm not just a European level fighter. I'm one of the best on the planet.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, because I think over the last few fights, whenever MVP was fighting and his opponents got announced, people were kind of looking down on them. Whereas now, when you got announced to fight him, there was a mix. Some people maybe that didn't know you were saying, "Oh,
yeah, people were calling me a can."
Exactly, yeah, it was another one of those. Oh, it's another one of those MVP fights. But then people that were watching Cage Warriors were saying, "Well, listen, hold on, this is actually an opponent that's very good here." Coming into fighting.
Yeah, there's too many stupid people out there, isn't there, man? Casuals, they haven't got a clue, man. But people tune in to watch the MVP fight, whether they want to see him win or lose. But it's perfect for me because a lot of casuals watch MVP, and once I smash him October 10th, then people are gonna know, and we'll see who's the can. We'll see who's the can after I dust him.
What are your thoughts on the matchup? How do you see yourself in there with a fighter like him?
I feel my pressure being too much for him. I think I'm going to be too physically strong for him, and mentally strong. He likes to he likes to mentally dominate people. I think with his feints and his kind of like his antics in the cage. I respect his skills, but there's not a doubt in my mind I'm going to get my hand raised in Paris, and I just feel I can just see myself being too much for him. I feel myself wearing him down in the first round and getting a second round finish.
So obviously, I just wanted to ask a little bit about your preparation. It's because it's just nothing that has been normal recently, and you haven't fought in just about a year now. So I just wanted to ask how you've been over the lockdown and stuff like that. How has that been going for you?
Yeah, it's been a good break, to be honest. I feel like it's a blessing in disguise because I felt like it's given me the opportunity to kind of level up in terms of skill set. So I'm a lot more of a skillful fighter now. I've always had the heart. I'm a fighter at heart, and everyone's seen that in my fights. So I don't have to work on any of that. I've massively worked on my conditioning with my condition coach, Ian Finley, and obviously my skill set with Cam Cheng and my other coaches, man. I feel like a whole different fighter. And everyone says it, man. So people can believe what they want, man. But you're going to see it October 10th. I'm a whole different fighter.
Are you able to get a proper camp in the way you'd like it with no interruptions for this fight?
Yeah, proper camp, easy work. We even before I was ready to fight months ago. I could have fought 4 or 5 months ago. Obviously, I was meant to fight Neiman Gracie in Chicago. That fell through. So I was ready to fight then, and that was in June, I think. And I was fit. I was fit 2 months before I was meant to fight Neiman Gracie. I've been ready for the best part of 6 months. So it's just unfortunate for MVP that I've had this extra time to prep, man, because it's kind of like it's been a few back-to-back camps, but not people think it can be mentally fatiguing, but it's not all, man, because I'm mentally unbreakable, man. So I'm looking forward to showcasing it in Paris.
Do you feel like those couple of camps in maybe in succession without fighting can play into your advantage, because now you're kind of just like ready to go and unleash everything that you've been working on?
Yeah, of course, man. Obviously, against Neiman Gracie, we're working a lot on my striking and my wrestling, more defensively, and just my grappling in general. Obviously, because he's good on the ground. And then obviously against MVP, I was working on my all-round game. So it's been good, man. It's you learn a lot from each camp. I've been up and down between Birmingham, Renegades with the Edwards brothers, and Calbon with Darren Till and that. So I've been getting high level sparring a lot of Chris Duncan as well. So I'm just looking to, yeah, man. I think it has benefited me massively, and I know some people can't handle it, and they're kind of like, because they're used to having, they need a bit of unwinding time after a camp. But this is what I live for, man. So it's I'm not happy doing anything else, and I'm not waking up and training every day. Then I don't know what else I'd be doing, man. So I'm loving it, and I'm looking forward to getting in there.
Yeah, speaking of just handling things in general, I think it's so different now, and you're going straight into your debut on a very high profile event. How do you think you're prepared to cope with, because it's obviously going to be a lot of increased media attention on that fight and stuff like that. Do you feel like you're ready to go into that spotlight straight away?
Of course, I don't feel any pressure at all. I don't put any pressure on myself in the slightest. Not for this fight and not for any fight. I don't care what people think of me. Obviously win or lose, but obviously, I don't care what people think about me when I get in there, man, because it's only me who's making myself do this. No one's pushing me in there, forcing me to do this. These are all choices that I've made, a career choice that I made for myself, being a fighter. So I don't feel any pressure in there, man. And I just feel excited, man. I'm just, looking back over the past couple of years, kind of like things have just steadily increased. I never really saw myself. I wasn't sure, I kind of like just going with the flow, and then it kind of just has built a bit of momentum. And obviously I'm on the big stage now, and some people would crumble under the pressure, man. But inspiring, I'm okay, but I perform a lot better on fight night, and because to me it's life or death now, man. I've trained this my whole life, working to these points in my career, man. So I ain't gonna let no lights, camera, crowd, or opponent stop me from getting to the next goal.
Yeah, so that's interesting that you say that you were kind of going with the flow, but you managed to put up a very good record. Obviously, you're undefeated in one of the better organizations in the world, and you obviously won the belt as well. How do you think you went through that and ended up going from feeling like you're just going with the flow to putting together that winning streak and just winning and becoming the best in the world at your weight class?
I don't know, to be honest. It was kind of like I feel like when I was an amateur, I used to underperform a wee bit, because like going back to the pressure thing, I used to maybe be worried about what people think. So it was a combination of that, and obviously once I went professional, I kind of took it a bit more seriously in terms of my training. But I stopped worrying too much about anything, like the results, and this and that. And I just got in there. They gave me a name. I was like, whatever, let's do it. I got the win, and then kind of it's been a bit of a, what's the word, like a, as the momentum's built, my confidence is built, and I've had quick finishes. I've shown at a good distance. I've been through wars, come through adversity, and I just know that I'm unbreakable now, and I'm confident confident against anyone I go in front of in that cage. So it's just, yeah, it kind of just happened, I guess. I can't really explain it. It's just a shift in my mindset, and the belief in my ability in myself, and like the character that I know I've got on fight night, not in the gym, that's pulled through every time, man. So I'm gonna pull through again and get the win. It's just another opponent.
You touched on briefly about your experience on the amateur stage. We've had quite a few guests on now in recent weeks that have had amateur experience. Do you think that's helpful? Has that helped you? What do you think of that route into MMA?
Yeah, I did some amateur MMA fights and some amateur boxing. I think it helps because you can kind of like, yeah, you get a few losses, whatever. It's just part and parcel of it. Things that happen overnight. This is only my personal view, because obviously some people like just smash through the amateurs and then do the same in professional, or smash through the amateurs and then they don't live up to their name when they go professional and whatever. But yeah, I feel like from my point of view, I feel like sometimes you can, it's depends on the individual, but sometimes you can stay at amateur for too long. I think you got to play it by ear, because you can burn the candle out before you're actually doing anything that's worthwhile. You know what I mean, or that's actually gonna like make a difference or anything substantial. But yeah, I think you've got to have your amateur fights in to kind of like find out whether it's for you or not, whether you can pull through, you know, when you get put in an uncomfortable position, whether you can pull through adversity, and whether you can hold your nerve under the lights, man. So you know, that's what the amateur fights are for. You can kind of like, as the fight's going, you can kind of like grow confidence and then just work from there. Yeah, but I definitely feel it's a fine line. I think you can stay at amateur for too long and take, you know, amateur boxers and all that have like hundreds of fights might be quite difficult. But then again, you've got to have the experience. So yeah, it's different with everyone, I guess.
Yeah, so a little bit more about the fight I wanted to ask you. I'm sure you've been watching, maybe not I don't know how much, but the UFC and Bellator now have come back as well, how everything is playing out behind closed doors. What do you think of the setup and how they've kind of just come back into somewhat normal with the fight game?
Yeah, I think myself, as well as probably every other fighter out there and fan, will be delighted, you know, just getting back to normality, because it's just been a weird year. I'm sure you'll agree. So it's just good to get back to the flow, really, and just being able to get back to some kind of normality. So yeah, man, it's and it means I can get on with my career. So I'm delighted, man, and yeah, long may it continue.
Have you been briefed already by Bellator how it's going to look in terms of traveling over and setting up your training and quarantining and stuff like that? Do you think that's going to be a factor in your preparation?
I've been told something like we fly out to Paris. I think we can only have 2 cornermen, usually 3, so we can fly out to Paris with my cornerman. And I think we get our tests in the hotel. Then we got to stay in the hotel room for like 48 hours whilst we quarantine, whilst we wait on results. Probably quite similar to what's been happening over in Fight Island. And then once we get the results, I think we can just do what we want. But I think it's still quite restricted. I'm not sure, but I don't think we can just wander around France and do what we want. You know what I mean? It might just be the hotel complex. You know, maybe we've got a training facility lined up, man. So if not, I'll just be training in the hotel room for a week, man, and then getting the job done.
From a fighter's perspective, do you think that can affect people in a bad way, or do you think that once you just get there, it's all eyes on the fight and you don't really pay attention to that stuff?
Yeah, I don't care at all. I think like you know, I'm not really like a superstitious, or you know, people use things as excuses, but I can be put in any kind of environment or circumstance, and it doesn't matter, because I know once I'm on occasion, I'm going to get the job done, no matter who's in front of me. So it doesn't bother me at all.
I wanted to ask you a little bit. You said earlier that you don't really feel the pressure, but you are undefeated and you're going into a very high-profile Bellator fight as your debut. Does that play on your mind at all going into it, or do you use that as motivation? How do you feel about your record? And potentially, like, whenever you go in there, you can lose the O. So I just wanted to ask you how you feel about that.
Yeah, I just, you know, I don't ever see it as, or I don't see it as a possibility of me losing. So I don't really think about any of that, really. I guess, you know, obviously I take confidence in my training that I've done. But I don't really, you know, I don't care about too much about the records, to be honest. You know, this guy's had however many fights, you know, and he's however many knockouts. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's a bit of a Conor McGregor thing, but it's just you against yourself, I guess, isn't it? Which is kind of true, you know, it's true. So yeah, I don't care whether I was 1-0. Yeah, I was calling out the top guys when I was 1-0 and 2-0, whatever, man. I don't really care. It's just a number, man. It's just a case of who wants it more when you're in there. You know, I look at it, you kind of like, I don't put any pressure on myself. I don't feel pressure, but obviously, you know, you're going in there. Everyone gets a bit of pre-fight nerves, you know. Just it's not the same as like pressure, but you know, just because it's like, you know, like a school sports day type thing, you know what I mean? More excitement than anything. And it's just 2 men with a bit of excitement going in there, and everyone bleeds, everyone cuts, we're all flesh and bone, man. So I just know when, you know, I can go in there and get the job done clean. But if we get into deep waters and you know, things shit hits the fan, then I know in my mind I can go to a darker place in deeper waters than the MVP can ever go to, man. And you know, like I say, I'm looking for, I'm going to get a nice clean victory, man. But, you know, if you look at my fights, everyone knows I can do that, and I want it more.
Speaking of MVP again, have you had any previous encounters with him? How do you think it's going to be when you guys kind of get face to face and started having a bit more verbal exchanges as the fight comes closer? Do you think there'll be a bit of trash talk, or how do you approach this fight?
I've never met him in my life or spoke to him. Obviously I called him out. I don't think I've talked any trash. Like, you know, I just called him out because I'm kind of like, all right, here's a big name. I know I can beat him, so let's do it. And it's materialized. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I'd imagine he seems he's quite a confident dude, isn't he? So I'd imagine he'll probably have a few things to say, man. But it's not. And here's the thing, man. I think people get broken. Will probably get mentally broken before they've even stepped in there. You know, so, because there's a big psychological factor in going into fighting. Like, you can be beat before you even get in there, man. But I think once he looks into my eyes and he knows that, you know, I'm unbreakable. I'm here for war. And I'm not taking a backward step, then he's going to be like, fucking hell, you know, this guy's for real, man. And, you know, I'm going to give him a second loss. You know, it was stupid if he's underestimating me, but I hope he's training hard, man. I hope I get the best MVP so then I can share everyone what's up and share everyone the real deal.
Do you get that a feeling in you that maybe it lights a little bit of a fire when people are underestimating you? Like you said at the beginning, that when the fight first got announced, people are saying, oh, it's another can. Do you kind of get that in you to say, oh, I'll show you that this is not the case?
Yeah, for sure, I guess. I'm not going to fight any differently because of them. You know, we've got a game plan between me and my coaches, but it'll be quite nice once I beat this guy. They're going to be like, listen, who's the can now? You know, for real, man. What's up? Let's see it. I'm coming for Douglas Lima's belt. You know, whether that's in another fight or 2 or 3 fights, whatever, man, I'm coming for that belt. And people are going to learn to respect me on the world stage. They'll learn to love me.
So a couple more questions. What would a win in this one mean to you? Obviously, coming in, like we've said already, into quite a big stage for your first fight in Bellator. Do you think that a win here and maybe a significant victory and convincing puts you right on the path towards the belt? Do you have maybe like a plan in your head of how you would like to go about it?
Yeah, I think just because of the name that MVP is, I think it puts me in a good spot, man. So once I finish this guy, it's kind of like, it's almost like you can what's the word, like it catapults you up the division, because, you know, if you look in UFC and like the fight game in itself, there isn't much rhyme or reason to it sometimes, you know. So I think a lot of people want to see MVP get smashed, you know what I mean? So once I smash him, that's going to be like, whoa, let's put this guy up there with the top guy, and we'll see what's up. So, you know, once I beat him, I'll be calling for the belt, but we'll see what's up out there. I know there's a few other welterweights out there. Obviously, I was meant to fight Neiman Gracie. There's some other guys from like Eastern Europe and all that era, right? So you know, we'll see what's up.
Yeah, it's certainly an exciting division. And so, last one before I let you go, you've been talking about stopping him and smashing him. So I just wanted to know if you do predictions, would you give us one of how you think this was going to go down?
Yeah, I'll stop him in the second round.
All right, for sure. Thank you very much, Ross. Thank you for taking the time. And we look forward to seeing you in Paris for the first ever Bellator, a major fight event in France.
For sure, right. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you.
See you later.